Ready Check Radio. What's up, Internet? It's Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. That means it's time for the Relic Grind, Final Fantasy XIV Square Enix podcast, brought to you by Ready Check Radio. I'm your host, Mike Byrne. As always, we've got Final Fantasy XIV recap news. We've got so much to go through, including a ton of stuff that Square Enix just dropped this past week. And obviously, we'll be talking about Pixels. That intro song does jam, chat. You are absolutely right. And if you want to be part of chat, if you're listening on Spotify right now or watching on YouTube, head on over to that website you see on the bottom of your screen there, ReadyCheckRadio.com, RAIDEO.com. You'll see all the episodes available for the Relic Grind and also our Blizzard podcast, Snowbound, and our gaming, general gaming podcast, Gaming Gumbo. But more importantly, all the socials will be in the upper right-hand corner. Follow us on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, subscribe, turn on those notifications, tell your friends. It's the best way you can support us. If you like what we do and you want to see more of it, then give us a follow. And if you can make it live, twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio, we'd love to have you. Chat is ready to go. They're pumped, the music. After the show, I'll play the whole song for you because I have the licenses to do so.
Word.
Also on the line, ready to talk Square Enix and Final Fantasy stuff, Chris Montoya, a.k.a. Tarkoth. What's up, sir?
Tarkoth is not feeling well today. He's been kind of ill. So I got my nausea medication. I got my ginger ale because these Square Enix prices make me sick.
Okay, so do you really not feel well, or was that a terrible setup for an equally terrible joke?
Yes, I'm not feeling well.
Oh,
but
I'm sorry.
I used it for the bit.
You didn't tell me. We could have given you tonight off or something.
No, hell no. I'm a soldier.
You want to bitch about pricing? I do too. And I know this gentleman does here because I'm friends with him on Facebook and on Twitter and behind the scenes, and he's mad.
Yeah, I've been bitching all day.
Yeah, you have. What's up, Adam Lane, a.k.a. Kronos?
What's going on? Yeah, I mean, I'm going to bitch some more, so you can light that fire, dude. I'm going to keep it going.
Yeah, there's going to be, I'm sure, a little bit of ranting in today's episode on maybe a couple of topics. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show, I do want to put this up for our Final Fantasy TCG fans. We do stream Final Fantasy, the trading card game, every Monday on this channel, twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio at 7 p.m. Eastern. It is always helping new players learn how to play, helping them learn how to use Octagon, helping them do deck building, taking challenges from the different Facebook groups or friends of Kronos and I, getting their challenges and trying to build decks around those and things like that. So if you want to learn how to play or just hang out with some great, great people, stop by on Mondays. But today we've got a Legend Spoiled for Opus 14. That's the next set that's coming out. We've got pre-release in less than a month now, since it's July 1st at the end of this month, and then the set drops in the first week of August. You're looking at a preview of the Light Legend from the set, a 5-cost, 9,000 power forward Dragon Shinryu. Special category, so we don't have many special categories, but we do have a few, so this will go there. With the ability, when Shinryu enters the field, deal 10,000 damage to all the forwards of cost 3, 6, and 9 that the opponent controls. And at the beginning of main phase 1, during each of your turns, reveal the top card of your opponent's deck. If it's a forward, all the forwards opponent controls lose 7,000 power until the end of the turn. If it's not a forward, draw 2 cards. Holy balls. There isn't a bad thing about this card, besides maybe it not costing 6 to duck under some certain things, or costing 4 to get away from a Diabolos, right? All around, this is an awesome card. Now, it is light, so that does make it a little challenging to weave into or build an entire deck around. You can certainly put combo pieces with it, Kronos, doing a 7,000 power loss and then coming over the top with like a Revenant Wings or a Pandemonium is pretty much going to be a board clear. Comboing it with Lonnie, I think, is incredibly fun, right? You take a peek at the top card of the opponent's deck, and do I want to play Lonnie this turn and take that card for me or not? I mean, oh, and by the way, if you don't do any power reduction to the board, go ahead and draw yourself basically 4 CP. That's nutty. That is nutty, Kronos. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it seems really good. I think if you're having trouble with samurais, you play this dude.
Right?
He hits the relevant numbers, right?
Yeah.
Kills Cyan, he kills Tenzin.
I honestly think they were kind of like, all right, we got a problem with a few
It feels
cards.
targeted. Yeah, it feels targeted to me.
Very targeted.
But no, it seems really strong. Like you said, there really doesn't really seem to be like a bad piece of text on it, which is pretty awesome. I'm all for better light cards because I feel like dark always gets the better cards.
I agree.
So I think this is
like
cool.
Lately it's been, you run light cards, so 3 Citra. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like a pretty sweet ice card, honestly. Just stick it in an ice deck. Deals with some things they have trouble dealing with.
Yeah, it makes up for their kind of subpar legend that we got spoiled a little while ago too. What do you think, Tark? I know you're newer to the game, but you've been doing deck building. You're familiar with a lot more cards now, a couple months down the road than you were a few months ago. How does this kind of rub you? How's this dragon get you?
I heard that minus 7,000 power and my jaw just dropped.
Yeah, that's just if it's a forward. And
if it's
not, there's like no doubt. Like the first time I read this, I fully expected that after that line, like if it's a forward, they lose 7,000 power. I fully expected it to say a downside, right? Like if it's not a forward, your opponent can draw that card. Like I expected some type of downside. And then I'm like, oh, well, shit. Even if I don't decrease their power, I'm going to go ahead and draw 2 cards. By the way, this is the beginning of my main phase 1, where I already just drew 2 cards per turn. Feels good. Hey, where's that Water Zidane legend? Where is he? Let's go ahead and put him in here.
Try to deck out.
Deck it out.
It's pretty awesome. So we are in spoiler season. Just giving you a taste. If you're not familiar with the game, obviously, come check it out. We'll be more than happy to answer new player questions and everything. On that, gentlemen, let's slide over and get into Final Fantasy XIV news first. Again, not a lot of news. It's getting a little slow as we approach November here, but we do have more details now about the 14-hour broadcast. We kind of speculated that, there's not probably going to be a whole lot of information, but there will be a lot of community stuff. That does seem to be the case. Of course, things do kick off after the introduction with a live letter from the producer. I don't think any of us is really expecting anything groundbreaking from that live letter, right?
No,
not really.
I'm surprised that it looks like it's like an hour and a half long. I don't really know what they're going to talk about.
Well, I mean, they do have 2 special guests coming. They have Yoko Taro, who's going to do a look back at the whole Yorha Dark Apocalypse content, and Yosuke Saito as well. So there is actually a forum post specifically for questions that you may have. So I'm thinking, Tark, they might actually sink more time into this than we maybe thought originally. They're going to let this eat up half hour or something like that of that time.
Probably a large chunk of it, because I don't know what else they're going to talk about, really.
I mean, they'll do a little recap, right? They'll do a little recap of the Endwalker announcements. Again, for those audiences that may not be watching certain other things and whatever. And then the rest of it, it is basically, all community-oriented. There's a how do you like Heidelin piece. There's a Soken piece as far as music, the play-by-play on creating music. I actually really am interested in that. Unfortunately, I'll be staying up till 3 in the morning or 6 in the morning or whatever it is to go ahead and watch that. Tales of Adventures, Hiroyuki versus Yoshi P, round 9 after round 8 was so long ago. But I do think it is interesting. There's also a live Q&A in here, Tark, where they're going to take questions from the streams, whether they be Twitch or YouTube or whatever. I think we could accidentally, in quotes, when you're dealing with Yoshi P, accidentally maybe get a couple snippets of information there, right?
Well, we've gone on record many times he doesn't say anything that he's really not supposed to say. He's very deliberate with his words. So I'm sure he's gonna probably curate one or two questions that he wants to let slip.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, like, oh,
Oh,
I
wasn't I
wasn't.
supposed to say that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it should be fun. I don't know for our side of the old pond here, Chronos, like how much I'll actually stay up and watch. Probably very little of it. You know, maybe the live letter, and then I'll catch. I definitely want to watch the Soken thing, so I will go and watch that later. Just because of, I play piano and do music and stuff myself, so that does interest me. And maybe hit the Q&A. We'll have some things to talk about, I'm sure, but I just don't expect this to be anything more than a celebration, which is good in its own right, but not informative.
Yeah, no, they just need to tell me that I can turn in my tokens for my diamond mount, and I'll tune out. Just tell me that, and then I'm good.
We are
I'm a
getting
warrior of light.
another original soundtrack, Final Fantasy XIV Death Unto Dawn. It's the 5.x soundtrack, which I think is one of my favorites, probably. So obviously I'll be picking it up. It does say, Tark, for us Minion fans, that there is an in-game bonus item included. However, it does not specify what it is. So I'm kind of hoping it's not some just orchestrion
I'm hoping you
scrolls.
get a parasol. I'm hoping you get a parasol.
I don't want it to be equestrian scrolls, but I think it's going to be. Usually
They
they're
usually do that,
You get a
right?
parasol. You get a little umbrella.
Yeah.
There you go.
Don't they usually give you like a couple with that, even when they give you like minions and stuff? Don't they usually give you like equestrian rolls, like a few of them?
Not on the original ones. Well, obviously the jukebox wasn't a thing in some of the really, really old ones. The art books are usually the ones that come with multiple things. I'd have to go through the soundtracks. I have them all, but I honestly don't remember if I've ever gotten one that had both minions and scrolls in it. I think it was always one or the other.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. Yes, I think the Pulse one came with like 3 equestrian rolls or something.
Yeah. Last thing, we are, a little while in now from the community streaming event, and we gave some initial thoughts on it, like the day it went live. This is if you visit local or you visit pre-designated streamers that Square Enix has partnered with and gift Twitch subscriptions to their channels, you can earn yourself the big chocobo mount, the big black chocobo mount. Or as Mr. Happy and his crew say, you just go ahead and ride around on your BBC.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
You keep
I'll leave
using
that
that
alone.
term. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Inconceivable.
Inconceivable. So the event has obviously kind of slowed down at this point. People are still doing it and gifting it, but the initial backlash, and we kind of expressed a few of those concerns, particularly for friends of ours, more directly toward friends of ours that are BIPOC individuals that, because it kind of seemed pretty generic. There wasn't a lot of diversity in the panels that were chosen. And some streamers, felt left out, and some people as fans, felt like their favorite streamers were left out, and people wanted to know why the selection process was made the way it was. What were the criteria? There was speculation about if you had ever streamed and used ACT on your stream, that you weren't going to be considered for this. A lot of speculation and concern and disappointment, and rightfully so for a number of streamers who you would think Sly would make the list, right? I mean, I
was surprised.
Yeah, if you had to pick North American stream, and by no means am I pointing out Sly directly and only Sly. There are a lot of people that I can think of that I'm like, oh, I'm surprised they didn't make the list here. Bird of Chess is going to be on the show upcoming in a couple of weeks. She wasn't on the list. I mean, there were a lot of people left out. I know, Tark, last week you brought up Work to Game and Ginger Prime. And yeah, certainly in my book, if I'm making the list, deserving of being there for the amount of content and the amount of support and the amount of intelligent critique. Like, I think you need to be able to critique your favorite things without all of a sudden, them saying, well, no, they just say bad things about us. These aren't streamers that do that. It hasn't, I got to say, I'm a little disappointed. It hasn't gotten better, Kronos. I thought that they would see that feedback immediately and go, you know what? We missed the boat on a couple of things. Let's go ahead and rectify it. And I know your concern was if they wait too long to add them, then everybody that wanted to gift $20 to a channel already gifted $20 to a channel.
Mm-hmm.
Then I saw other things where maybe this event should have been geared towards smaller content creators, and not to put our channel out there. I've personally covered Final Fantasy for 8 or 9 years now, since before it was even a Realm Reborn. But to be fair, I've also done it on a number of channels. So I certainly didn't expect Ready Check Radio to be on here or anything. But if you look at smaller channels that do consistent content, why weren't they rewarded? Or they should have been spotlighted over bigger channels that have more established following. So a lot of opinions on this right now. I do think we should get ours on the record now. We gave some initial ones. We were giving Square Enix a little bit of the benefit of the doubt that they were going to rectify the situation on last show. I'm wondering now, a week later, where do you stand? Tark, we'll start with you.
I think the idea was good, in a sense. Like, they have the right intentions. Execution-wise, maybe it was just a lack of clarity on how you got into this program and those that are left off. So I think that's part of the issue that is arising here. Sly being left off, Worked a Game, Bird of Chess, a couple others. I went onto their channels and all I did was say thank you. I don't need this mount, but here's a gift sub anyways. I wanted to show them support even though they weren't part of this program. There's just something just didn't click right. Like, good intentions, but not executed well.
Kronos, where are you sitting on this a week later now that you have some time to marinate and see how it all played out?
Yeah, I think Tark brought up a good word, right? That I think Square struggles with a lot and across a lot of things they do, and that's transparency. I think the things that we really like from 14, like the live letters and stuff, that we like that because it's transparent, right? We get to see and it feels like they're kind of talking to us. And this felt like they didn't. They kind of just were like, hey, here's some people that we picked, and they're gonna be our streams. And like you said, it's the fact that it's not kind of diverse kind of rubs me the wrong way. And the fact that it didn't really seem like they tried to rectify it rubs me the wrong way. I think it was a great idea. And I'm happy for the people that benefited from it. I think I saw Happy had something like 17,000 subs or something crazy, which is nuts. So I'm happy for him. He deserves that. But it just makes me sad that other people aren't included that feel like they should be. It felt like it was limited to maybe an arbitrary number. There's just no clarity. I think that's my biggest problem with it is the clarity of it. And I see Square do this with other things too, and it makes me upset. But like I said, I think the idea was great, and I agree with Tark. I think the execution was poor.
Yeah, and chat's talking about you could have used this to spotlight smaller creators, and that's something that I've seen a lot of too. And there's nothing saying that you can't support both. Tark, you just made the point. Prismine making the point in chat that you can go to Bird of Chess's site and throw a sub. You can go to Sly's site during one of his music festivals and throw a sub and just say, hey, thanks. You're not going to get fireworks or a chocobo mount for doing that. But if you have the time and a spare $5, go ahead and toss it to your favorite creators, because some of them, obviously not in our positions where we're like, yeah, we didn't expect to get picked, so we're not all that upset about it. But there are some people that have more of a relationship with Square Enix, a working relationship, and have been doing this for a long time, that we're kind of stunned not to see their names on that list. I also saw the idea that maybe it should have been done in a, go to anybody's channel that is playing Final Fantasy XIV and just blanket it on the Twitch category, not a subset of the streamers for the community. Go to your favorite 14 content creator, and while they're playing 14, if you gift them 4 subs, you will get this key. Now, I understand logistic-wise, them Square working with Twitch, maybe something like that didn't work or wasn't exactly what they were planning to do or whatever. Because, yes, at the end of the day, this is marketing, right, Tark?
Yep.
You do have to respect that, yes, it is beneficial to the streamer. Yes, it is a way for Square to get eyeballs on people that have been creating content for a while and earn them a little money in the process without Square being like, hey, Tark, here's a $20,000 check for just being a great community guy, which all of a sudden makes every opinion you ever give from here on out suspect. Right?
That happy guy, so sus.
Right. He's so sus. So sus. So like there's other ways they could have done this that I think would have been perceived a little bit better. A little better.
My only hope is that maybe this is just the first time around. They do this again, and some of the people that, or well, most of the people that were on it this time aren't on it next time, and they have a more diverse set and different people go on the next time around. I don't know, but that would be nice to think.
Yeah, and a chat bringing up some good points here too. I'm not going to get into names because I also believe that the other side of this is there is absolutely zero reason to be saying anything negative about the people that were on the list.
Oh, absolutely not.
It's not.
They deserve it.
Yeah, they didn't like throw money at Square to say put me on the list or anything. But I do think there is validity to the Hype Mangoes. Mango changed their name. Now it's Hype Mangoes. Anyway, I do think there's validity to some of the concerns that, hey, this person here isn't predominantly a 14 streamer. And in fact, they haven't streamed 14 in a while. They play a totally different game. There's people that we all know on this panel that actually haven't streamed at all in quite a while, but also made the list. So there are those odds and ends. And yeah, Prismine, I get it, that it could be abused. Where, okay, I'm just going to set my channel to 14, whether or not I'm playing 14, and try to suck up subs. I get it. There's always going to be ways to game certain systems. But I think the little more thought needed to go into this. Last opinion on this, because I want somebody that I was talking to online. I don't know them personally. They, through Twitter, how it is, we had a great conversation about this, but they didn't like this event at all. Not for the list or the lack of clarity on the list or anything. They didn't like the event at all, or for the lack of, diversity on the panel. None of this. Aw, Mango, we love you. Their point though was that this was kind of just like give streamers cash the event, that kind of rubbed them the wrong way. That this was more just throw money at streamers the event, and it felt kind of slimy, kind of grimy to them. I personally don't feel that way, but again, one of those valid points, and I'm like, you know what? You're not wrong for thinking that. I don't happen to feel that way, but I can't say that you're wrong for thinking that, Kronos.
Yeah, I can't really say they're that wrong either. I mean, to me, I see it more like they're giving back. I mean, it is money, and and it is for like an exclusive item. I mean, it happened before, but now it's back, I guess, in this regard. But I don't know. I saw it more as giving back, but I can't really say that I disagree 100% with what they're saying. I mean, because that is kind of what it is.
So it's weird though, Tark, isn't it? Because like if Square, we just made fun of it, right? If Square cuts Tarkoth a check for $20,000, then he comes on this show, you automatically go, yeah, I don't know. Well, Square gave him $20,000, and I'm sure he wants to get that $20,000 next year or something like that.
So biased.
But do you feel the same way when it's like, well, Square didn't give Tarkoth the money, but they essentially did by putting his name on this list? Like, do you feel the same way then?
No, I don't feel that way about this promotion at all. I think it's a give back. Thank you for promoting us. Thank you for building us up from the disaster that was 1.0, for being with us and producing content for us. Free marketing. Here's something back to you. That's how I felt about the whole thing.
No worry about nobody's been bought.
No.
Like, guys, by the way, if you're one of those people on the internet that thinks that about certain things, let me give you a little sneak into the backside of stuff here from somebody who's been doing this for a decade and running a website that does this for a decade, that does first looks and shit. Ain't none of them paying us. Ain't none of them paying us. The best you'll get is a free copy of something to review it. That is the best you will get. That is different, by the way, from a sponsorship deal. I'm not talking about those, and those should be fully disclosed. But asterisk, sponsored content. Yeah, I always love that. Well, I thought this was a decent free-to-play game on MMO Bomb. Oh, they bought Mike off. Yeah, they totally bought me off for a first look video that's 15 minutes long hey, this is actually a kind of decent game. Jason Winter, Square can give me $20K and I'll come on and say nice things about the Pixel remake.
Yeah, I'll shill for them if they pay me.
Bunch of sellouts, man. Bunch of sellout co-hosts. They're just like, yeah, send me the check. Come on. We'll let Mike be the bad guy.
Instead of Tarkov Gaming, it's Tarkov Shilling.
SE Tarkov Gaming. All right, speaking of Pixels, let's kind of slide into some other Final Fantasy and Square Enix related news. But first, chat, we got to hold these two accountable. We got to hold these two gentlemen accountable. Tarkoth, we're going to start with you, buddy. Promises made, promises delivered. Have you played the Yuffie DLC for Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Not only did I play it, I beat the minigame, I did the side quest in Sector 7, and I got through normal mode. Good times.
Oh, all right. So now what are your opinions of it? Now you can actually give them.
I like the counterbalance between Yuffie and Sonnen as far as their attitudes. You know, in Yuffie's, she's manic. She's just all over the place. You know, crazy girl. Sonnen being a more calm and level-headed kind of was a nice counterbalance to her. I like the combinations between Yuffie and Sonnen. Some of the stuff, like the last boss, Nero, like where does that whole thing come about? Like I have not played the entire compilation of Final Fantasy VII, so I'm sure there's some stuff there, but I didn't understand like why are we even fighting this guy? What's his purpose? Yeah, he's pretty cool. It was a pretty crazy fight, but there's some parts where I was just lost. But overall, I gave it about an 8 out of 10.
So worth a buy. If you enjoyed Remake, it's definitely worth a buy.
$20, I feel is worth it.
All right. Kronos, congrats on your PlayStation 5 arriving.
Thank you.
Yay.
Saw all the pictures. Did you play the DLC?
I have played Fort Condor a lot. I haven't beat the DLC yet, but I've played Fort Condor a lot.
I actually like that mini game.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. And by the way, I highly recommend that you do not play Dirge of Cerberus to understand what is happening.
Yeah,
just don't do it.
Don't.
Just don't.
It's not worth it.
It is totally not worth it. But that's where that character comes from.
Gotcha.
And I mean, yeah, I'm having fun with it playing the game again. I'm still a little bitter that it's only on PlayStation 5, but I have one now, so I get to play it. But yeah, the Fort Condor minigame is awesome, though. I do like the Fort Condor
in chat. I love Dirge of Cerberus. You're a terrible person.
That's a bannable offense.
You know what? If you want to unfollow right now, you unfollow right now. You do you, boo. You know I'm kidding.
Hey, I'm not hating, dude. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. It's just...
You know what Fort Condor is, right? It's Lord of Verminion, but simplified.
Oh, it's pretty dumb. Yeah. I don't think simplified is the word. It's kind of way dumbed down.
Way dumbed down.
It's not simplified.
But it's fun in its iteration.
I've watched it. Like, I haven't played the DLC yet. You guys know I'm just like waiting for that to be on sale or something. I can't support that at the full price. I'll take your words for it. It looks fun. I've watched a couple different streamers play it. So, Tark, I poked in on you a little bit. So,
oh, thank you.
Well, I mean, I got to support the brothers, right? Kronos, did you try the Neo demo? I know that's one you were looking at.
Yeah, I haven't played that yet.
I've got something on him then.
Yeah, so I got the PS5 in. Like, you it took so long for me to install Final Fantasy VII Remake on that thing.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was
You have
ridiculous.
oh my god, yes, I do.
And so, like, by the time, because the funny thing was, I was gonna install that. I bought Spider-Man on sale, so I was gonna play that first. But then Final Fantasy VII took so long to install that I was like, I'm definitely just gonna play this first. So I haven't played really, other than like playing on my PC, playing fighting games. I haven't played anything else other than the remake DLC.
Tark, what'd you think?
For Neo,
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. I didn't know what to expect from it. I love the artwork. The voice acting seems to be pretty solid. The combat, while basic at first, I'm finally getting into the flow of it and building up those chains, and the music's pretty hype.
The music is definitely hype. By the way, not Square Enix related, the music is also hype in Scarlet Nexus. I started streaming that on this channel yesterday. The music is phenomenal, and the combat is just getting better and better as we play. So, definite some fun there. Last week, we did mention that they're going to have a Mana stream, a Mana series anniversary stream. That did happen. And initially, so you may not, depending on what coverage you read on this topic, you might not know that something we said will probably happen on last week's show did in fact happen. Because if you read the actual press release, right, the actual press release from Square Enix on this, they talk about the Trial of Mana remake, right? They talk about a new free-to-play action RPG coming to mobile in 2022 called Echoes of Mana. They talk about the Legend of Mana, the Teardrop Crystal anime series. And then they talk about Legend of Mana, the remastered edition of the 4th installment of the Mana series now being available, right? Plugging the newest remake. And that's it. That's it. So you would be forgiven if you just read the official press release, if you did not also know that our prediction is true. There is going to be a new game in the Mana series. Why was it not mentioned in the press release? Because it was just barely mentioned in the stream. It was just barely mentioned in the stream. Those looking for this is what was said. Those looking for a new Mana console game will have to wait a little longer. Oemada confirmed during the anniversary live stream that there is a new Mana series game for console in development, but that fans will have to wait for a full announcement. That was it, Kronos. Like, all well and good on the other stuff. Celebrate the remasters that came out. I don't know how you feel about the mobile one. Like, again, none of us are huge mobile guys, so maybe we're definitely not the audience for this. But I gotta say, the trailer looks good. I don't really expect anything different from Square, but the trailer I think does look good. And yeah, they just kind of squeaked in there with that. Yeah, we're working on something, but we're not ready to announce it yet.
I thought that when they showed the trailer that it was going to be for a new Mana game. I was
I
like,
thought
"Oh, this
so
looks
too.
really cool." And then
thought so too.
and then I saw mobile, and I was like, "Nope, you lost me. I'm out." Like,
Oh my goodness.
I just don't like mobile as a platform. Anybody that's hyped for this, I'm happy for them. But mobile as a platform just doesn't do it for me. So I wish this was just a console game. I would probably play it. But I'm excited about the new one.
Yeah, we just have forever to wait for it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's coming.
Tark, you're more mobile than any of the rest of us on the panel here.
A little bit more, yeah.
You've got your games that you do actually play consistently. You've done the battle royale and everything. I mean, look at the trailer. This looks beautiful. Art, I love this art style.
I'll try anything from Square Enix, even if it is mobile. I might ditch it real quick, but if it's a big hot pile of garbage, but I'll give it a try.
Well, I mean, so I do have concerns, right? Square does not have the, let's say, the best history when it comes to monetizing free-to-play mobile games. They've done some well, but they've also done some really badly. And in fact, we're going to talk about them doing it so badly later they get in trouble with the law. We'll talk about that in a little bit. This is going to be a free-to-play game on mobile. This is not, a $10 product and you own it. They are planning for this to be free to play, so I am shaking a little bit, Tark.
Yeah, and again, the monetization is where you, if you do it right, and you're not, what's the word, predatory in your tactics for your monetization, then I can get behind your product and play a little bit more, and maybe throw a couple bucks your way if I find that I've gotten the worth out of the game. So Dissidia Opera Omnia, that's one where I've shelled out maybe $20, little something, because I got 6 months worth of fun out of that game. But other games like one that we're going to talk about later, games that, like, one we're going to talk about one later that fought the law and the law won. That one, I ditched that one after like a week or two. So, oof.
There was also an interview done on Prima Games. Boy, I haven't heard that name in a while. The Prima Games guide. The Legend of Mana producer Masaru Oemada. And it's kind of a neat interview. Like, if you're into the Legend of Mana and the remake that they just did, there's some nifty insight there on like why they brought the series back. Ring Land being added. That is not something that, if you played the original PlayStation 1 version here in North America, was included in the game then. So why decide to include it? Talking about rearranging the soundtracks. One of there's two things that I thought were really interesting in this interview, and if you guys have something extra, then by all means too. But I thought this was a brilliant question for this type of remaster. Legend of Mana includes some pretty incredible background art through the game. And when you think about it, a lot of that is like hand-drawn background art with the tools that were available at the time. So they asked, how are assets like that remastered? And they said the data for the background art in Legend of Mana was originally created based on illustrations. We adjusted those to match HD resolution and supplemented points that were too small to be discernible in the original resolution, while making sure to avoid interfering with how players had envisioned them. And I got to say, I haven't beaten the game. I'm not even all that far into it, but I did get it and have started playing it. It looks just as beautiful, like, conceptually. Obviously, it's better resolution and high def and all that stuff. But conceptually, it still looks exactly the way it looks in my head when I think back on that game, Dark.
Isn't that the way of things, though? That looks just like I imagined it from way back when I played it 15 years ago. But it does look beautiful.
It definitely does. The other thing that I thought was awesome, just a real quick question. They said, what are some of the team's favorite aspects of Legend of Mana in general? This is probably the best answer. It's one sentence. If you've played the game, it's probably going to be your answer too after you hear it. And that is the shy little cactus, who you may have forgotten all about. They said, I think I would have to say Lil Cactus Diary. It's so soothing. And honestly, until I started playing it again, I totally forgot about the shy little cactus.
Aww.
Look at him. Look at he's just so happy. And the little diaries, they are soothing. There's something that you read throughout the game, little bits of separate lore. But shy little cactus is the shit, Kronos. That's awesome.
I mean, it's cool. I'm glad it's y'all's favorite thing. The game. I think it's cool.
It's not my favorite part of the game. I think it's awesome, though, and I think it is cool that it is one of the things that they look back on fondly, too.
Yeah.
I love the Mana series. I love it.
Oh, it's warms the heart when you play one of those games.
So speaking of mobile, though, what do you think of this? Deep Insanity. Like, honestly, I didn't even know this was a thing. They just revealed it not too long ago. Deep Insanity, a new media mix project with game, anime, and manga. So kind of going the entire way that Scarlet Nexus is going right now. This is another iOS and Android thing, but for Kronos and I, old men, this one will be available on PC via Steam as well. A pre-registration has started now for a beta session that will launch tomorrow in Japan. Release window is later this year, September of 2021. And honestly, I didn't even know this was a thing. Like, this totally missed my radar. What do you guys think, though?
It looks interesting. If it's on PC, I might try it. I also didn't know anything about it until you put it in here, so I'll check it out.
JRPG.
I'm all about the JRPGs, especially if it's from Square. And if it's on Steam, I will try it there. I'll try that versus mobile any day.
Here's a little like synopsis for you, right? The game is set on a version of Earth in which people are being infected by the Randolph syndrome, a contagious disease that makes them fall into an irreversible coma. At the same time, mutated people start to appear, and the issues are linked to the discovery of a vast underground world under Antarctica, containing life forms different from the surface and unknown resources. In order to cure the Randolph syndrome and to gain access to those resources, humanity starts looking into the abyss stretching out below. Now, no Western release is 100% confirmed for this, but I gotta believe that this is coming west, Tark. I mean, their whole initiative over like the last year has been push the mobile market hard. This has got to come west. Maybe it won't be in September when it comes out in Japan, but it'll be here. I gotta believe that.
I hope so. But at least it's Japan's a test bed. If it does well there, we can say, hey, definitely come here. And if it doesn't, keep it there.
Yeah, you know what? I'd pay $12 to $18 for a decent JRPG.
Oh,
hell yeah.
No.
Stop.
No, I get what he's saying.
No.
Yeah.
I'd pay $12 to $18 for a new decent RPG. Play it on Steam.
New, decent, new. The keyword is new.
All right, I guess we should get down to it, right?
Yeah.
We've gotten a lot more information on the Pixel Remaster series. So first off, they have a release date. Well, some of them have a release date. We will be seeing. I don't even want to talk about this. I honestly don't want to. I asked Happy what he thought of them. He was like, "I think they look great. I'm all for it. I'm all for it." Now, granted, some of us have the ability to write these things off as taxes, but and he'll probably get it free from Square anyway, so whatever.
Totally sus.
Yeah, little sus. I would not trust that dude's opinions. I would absolutely not trust that dude's opinions. I'm kidding. The first 3 are set to release on July 28th, so in a few weeks for Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3. And then we will see the other ones later. And yeah, we get this little trailer, right? We get this little trailer, which is better than the first trailer we got, but still not a great trailer. And then we got some pictures. And I think we go here first. So this is from 3. And I gotta say, you know what? I'm not unhappy with the way it looks. I like the sprites and stuff. I arguably I might have a little more nostalgia love for the older versions than these, but they look fine. The font is fucking terrible, though.
Really bad. Yeah.
Like, what is with this like Ultra HD font on this sprite-based stuff, Kronos? This just looks horrible.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest complaint I've seen from even the people that like are talking about buying these is that how bad the font looks. So I'm sure someone will fan patch it and put it a different font that looks better. But yeah, I don't understand. They like the font is such an easy thing to change. Like I don't understand.
It is. They have to change this. They have to change it. It looks awful. All right. On the topic of these games in general, I'm going to say there is an audience for them that I don't think will complain about any of the things that we've complained about or will complain about. That audience will be the ones that never played these and have no other way to play them right now. They have no interest in buying an NES and a cartridge or taking the time to, I don't know, what are those things called when you, I don't know, maybe you could do it online or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that option's cheap too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, you got to install some things, but whatever. But don't want to take the time to do that, or would rather just play an official version. And to be honest, a lot of the mobile/Steam ports aren't that great anyway. In fact, they are so bad in some cases that Square is going to stop selling the 5 and 6 remasters completely. They're being delisted on the 27th. The day before. The day before 1, 2, and 3 release. And those people probably aren't even going to care about the prices, because for those types of people, $12 to play an iconic RPG and get that experience, you can't really say that's a bad bargain. Like, nobody, I'm not looking at Final Fantasy 1 and saying that's not worth $12. If you've never played it and you want to experience that, $12 is a pretty reasonable rate. If you are somebody like the large portion of the audience that would buy these, that owns these in multiple formats already, I think that's when the gripes start coming in, Tark. Maybe not that new person that wants to experience these for the first time.
Yeah, my gripe is I'm not touching this. I'll go get my PSP and I'll go play on that, because I ain't shelling out for this half measure of. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It feels grimy. The price to me seems too high. But of course, again, I've purchased it in multiple forms already. If it was at $5, I'd pick it up. $12, hell no. Hell no.
And here's the thing, Kronos. That $12 fee, that $12 fee is just Final Fantasy 1.
And 2.
And Final Fantasy.
And 2.
Man, my God, let me keep talking. And Final Fantasy 2.
I'm in attack mode. I'm sorry.
You are. However, Final Fantasy 3 is going to be priced at $17.99.
Oh my God.
At $17.99. Can we stop here? Like, are we done?
Yeah. What's the next topic?
Are we done? 4, 5, and 6. Also, $17.99 a piece. A piece.
Nope.
A piece.
Nope.
Well, what if I told you they come with an official soundtrack and a wallpaper for your computer?
Yeah.
Sweeten the pot? Good deal?
In order of 4, 5, and 6, August 19th, September 9th, and September 30th are the release dates. There at that point will also be, oh God, we called this too, a bundle for all 6, priced at a 22% discount for a little while. We don't know how long. Of $74.82. $74.82. All right, Kronos, your tits are angry. I'm just going to let you go. Go ahead.
I mean, you've said a lot of it already, right? So like, I think if all of these had been $12, I'd probably have less of an issue. I think that's still overpriced, but when you get up to like the $18 ones, it just feels really bad. And I know the defense a lot of people have taken is like, well, you get these great 40-hour RPGs that has to be worth $18, right? And it's like, I mean, I get, like you said, for the people who have never played these games before, it's really hard for me to tell them like, hey, don't buy this, don't play these games because this is overpriced. Because to them, yeah, they're probably getting 40 to 60 hours per game. Some on the lower end, but like when you get to like 5 and 6, like those are pretty long if you take your time. So you're getting like money's worth. But like for like you said, like for me, for someone who's bought these time and time again, who would have definitely just bought it if it was like reasonably priced, it kind of makes me upset. And then I see like a lot of other people are like, well, if you buy the cartridge version of 6, that's like $300. And I'm
Well,
like,
yeah, if you buy the
well,
cartridge version of anything that
yeah,
was even remotely decent in the
and
80s at this point, you're going to spend more than $70.
and like
Mhm.
that price isn't determined by Square. That's like a collector thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they have the opportunity to like make these reasonably affordable for people, and I understand like $10 isn't a ton of money, but like eh, for these, it just feels like they're gouging to me, and I hate
Absolutely.
it, and I hate it. And like Tark touched on it earlier, like they're calling these remasters. What are they remastering? I don't even know. Like the sprites look worse to me, maybe a
Yeah.
little bit brighter.
They're
Um,
smoothing the edges.
that's I don't know, and I'm sure people are gonna get upset because I'm mad about it, and like it's great that people are gonna get to play these games, but it just frustrates me that like if this had been like we said last week, if they had just released these for like $5 a piece, you have a bundle, you get them all for $30, I think that would be an insane great deal. And like I would recommend that to everybody.
I would have
But
shelled out my money already.
but like $75 for all these, and that's a discount.
Yeah. Yeah, Medic asking what's the full price after the sale. Well, they don't give us a full price. They just say $74.82, and that's at a 22% discount. That would be about a $95 original price to put you at 74 and change after a $22 or 22% discount. So like $95 is what they're planning to be the MSRP on the full bundle with no discount. Yeah, I hate this too. I actually I don't agree with Kronos on the sprites. I'm gonna say that I agree with you. I prefer the original sprites,
Mhm.
but I don't think these ones look bad.
Okay, let me rephrase.
Okay.
Does it feel like an upgrade?
I think it does to a certain
does? Okay.
extent. Like I didn't expect like a whole big HD, 3D model remake, and
Right,
then
right.
but I do think it looks better.
Okay.
There is too much nostalgia love in me for those originals to like
Mhm.
these better or to think they're prettier than the originals. I will always think that the originals look better, but I will also say 20% of that I will agree is probably my nostalgia for what those graphics looked like at the time too. So
Yeah.
I'm not like I would buy these.
Mhm.
I would
Me too.
not
Yeah.
at these prices.
No.
This is 100% something that as much as I might like to have these on Steam so that I don't have to pull out the original NES or the Retron or the Super Nintendo and hook it up and find the cartridges. Okay, well hold on because I've got my sealed box cartridge and my regular box and everything and then my cartridge only. Let me go, whichever one instead of having to go through that, I'd love to just boot up Steam and play it. I'm not paying 70. I'm going to wait till this is like humble bundled or
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
something because I can't imagine it's going to stay that price for all that long, Tark.
Yeah, as soon as people don't buy it, yeah, that's going to drop down the price. Oh, maybe we made a mistake. If they had done like a true remaster, what they're doing with Dragon Quest III, I'd shell out $40 for that. But this is just kind of a paint over, a gloss.
You know what?
And
There's
I'm not.
one of them too that I agree with you there. There's one of them that if you wanted to charge a few extra bucks for one of them, I could understand that because it was not available here in cart form in North America. It didn't make any of the anthologies or chronicles PS1 discs back in the day, and that'd be Final Fantasy V, right? We didn't see that one.
And 3.
Well, yeah, but we saw 3 later in handheld, didn't we?
True. Yeah. It technically it's like the 3D remake, so we
Right,
we
right,
never
right.
actually got the original one. Like but yeah, we did get 3. We never got 5. You're right. 5. The only 5 we got was the shitty
Yeah.
PS1 run.
mobile. The
PS1
mobile.
version?
No, the mobile one.
Yeah.
Wasn't it part of the PS anthology?
No,
No.
that's 4 and 6. So it was 4 and 6
Uh-huh.
and 1 and 2, right? Yeah, 4,
And then
6, 1, 2.
one of them was 3 and Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
The other one was 3 and Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, 5 actually never. There was like a fan translation that was like the way to play it for a while.
Yep.
That was the first time I played it, and we didn't really get it until the crappy mobile one, I think, which are gonna get removed from the store. Which I mean, those do suck. I'm not gonna lie, like those are not great. But yeah.
Tark disappeared. He's disappeared. He doesn't believe us.
Final Fantasy Anthology, Final Fantasy V, and Final Fantasy VI.
Okay. I thought it was 6 and 4.
Now I'm looking it up. I thought it was 2.
Yeah, 4 came with Chrono Trigger, and 5 and 6 were bundled together.
Yeah, but that has doesn't that have like the crappy translation with isn't his name isn't his name?
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
And the loading was just atrocious too.
The loading was terrible. Yeah. Oh, Onion Chronicles. Yeah. Okay. My bad. Thank you, Tark, for clarifying there. It still sucks ass.
Yeah,
It still sucks ass. Still doesn't solve the problems here. Still doesn't solve the problems. Speaking of remasters, Game Rant did a list where they put the top 10 Square Enix games that desperately need a remaster. Number 10 was Final Fantasy Tactics. It was number 10. Others included Dragon Quest IX in the 9th spot, Chrono Trigger in the 8th spot, Front Mission 5, Parasite Eve, Dawn of Mana, which I'm sure we'll get at some point now, Drakengard, Radiata Stories, the Musashi series, and Dungeon Siege 3, Vagrant Story, nowhere to be found on this list. Tactics in 10th. Do you agree with any of this list, Dark?
With the list in general, mostly. Not necessarily the order, though.
I don't need a Dungeon Siege 3 remake, and I certainly don't know why that's the number one spot.
I don't know why that's... No.
The game isn't all that old. It was on the Xbox 360.
I will say with number 4, Drakengard would be, with the love and the attention that NieR's been getting, I would love to see Drakengard 1 and 3 get remastered and be brought forward. Kind of complete the story.
Yeah, but I'm going to let you know. Did you play them?
They need a remake of
yes.
That needs to be a full remake, not just a remaster.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Drakengard 1 was
remaster versus remake.
Drakengard was a little rough.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I
Parasite Eve, definitely.
I got all the endings on that.
Yeah, I do agree though that Drakengard would be an interesting one for them to remake though, especially like with how NieR's blown up now. I think people would be interested in playing 1 and 3 particularly. Mm-hmm. I'm of the side I don't really want them to remake Tactics and Chrono Trigger because I think they're already perfect games.
I want to see Tactics remade. I'm with you on Chrono Trigger. Leave that one alone.
Yeah,
but I mean, like you can't screw up Tactics. Just do the same thing.
Yeah, I'd play both of them. Don't get me wrong. To me, it's like I can still go back and play those, and I have no issue. But
how is that not on Steam, by the way?
You got me, dude. Epic Game Store, look for it. Man.
Like, how is Tactics not on Steam? I don't know. NieR Reincarnation comes out for mobile devices July 28th. Yay!
I'm actually looking forward to that.
I'm not. I as much as I love NieR,
mainly for the story because it's supposed to be canon. So
yeah,
everything's canon with Yoko Taro. 14's canon.
The internet was a little confused this week, gentlemen, when Square Enix sent out surveys that apparently people were like, wait a minute, that game's not even announced. Because the question on this survey to customers was, which of the following video games that are releasing have you heard of? And on that survey, Grand Theft Auto 6 had made the list.
I haven't heard of an announcement on that. Have you?
I have not. I mean, it's safe to assume that there's gonna be one. We saw the rest of the internet arguing at one point that it wasn't going to be until 2026 that we would see that, based on some leaked information. Whether or not it's true, who knows? But so I guess it's safe to say which of the following upcoming games, because it is upcoming at some point. And have you heard of it? But yeah, so people thought maybe Square Enix went ahead and leaked the fact that Grand Theft Auto 6 was around the corner. So there's that. Don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they were just... maybe they were just making the assumption, like, hey, this game is going to come out, I don't
know. Isn't GTA 5 supposed to like re-release on the PS5? They haven't done that yet. I don't know, man. It's like Skyrim at this point.
Yeah, it is.
It's going to be everywhere, so.
Speaking of, we teased it earlier, Final Fantasy broke gacha laws and had to apologize. They had to apologize.
Oops.
Turns out that Square went ahead and broke some Japanese laws with a gacha system in War of the Visions, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, and just now is paying the price. This actually happened a little while ago. The actual indiscretion, let's say. So they were actually investigated by Japan's Consumer Affairs Agency and found to be violating the law in War of Visions banners that it offered through November 2020. According to Silicon Era, translating Square's statement and a 4Gamer story from their original Japanese, the banners guaranteed players UR units or UR vision cards after a set number of rolls, but in practice, most of the possible combinations of the rewards were never actually offered. Affected people were given 2,000 Visior and an in-game currency used to summon units, refill RNG, and to buy store items. That currency can also be earned for free by way of login bonuses and mission rewards. Paid packs range anywhere from 99 cents to $40 in the United States. So a little bit of a sorry we done broke the law.
Sorry, we got caught.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got caught. This is one of those games where I tried it and it's like, no, this feels grimy, and I dropped it after like a week or two.
See, I was like that with Opera Omnia, and I know a lot of people like that one, and War of the Visions, I should say, but I didn't like either of them. The one that really turned me off, like I would have been more with Square, but All the Bravest, I was like, what are you doing? I am never touching anything mobile you do again after this. Oh, by the way, sometime between, now and whenever, you'll be able to queue as the same heroes as other people in your squad in Marvel's Avengers. They should have more information on that by the end of July. Let's slide over and do Love It or Leave It. This is our last segment of every show where I give you something Square Enix related, whether it's a game, a feature in a game, a press release, something, or an idea. And I ask you, love it, you want more of it, or leave it. So we're going to go through our answers. Make sure you put your answers in the comments below on YouTube or over on ReadyCheckRadio.com. I've been giving all the panel here remasters the last couple of weeks, since that is the running theme in Square Enix. But I don't want to pick the ones that everybody picks. So today, gentlemen, I would like to know, Square Enix's first game for the PlayStation 2, should that be remastered? Do you want to see The Bouncer make a comeback, Tark? The Bouncer remastered. Love it or leave it?
Out of all the games you have to pick.
Well, I wasn't going to give you an easy one.
I'm going to leave this. And
really? You didn't like the beat 'em up?
No, that game was just bad. No. Leave
no Bouncer.
No, it got bounced from my collection even.
Wow. He traded that shit in.
I did. And I don't trade in anything.
But would you buy a Pixel Remaster for $18?
No.
You don't want the Bouncer. You're going to leave it, huh?
I'm leaving it.
All right. Kronos, The Bouncer remastered. Love it or leave it?
So I like The Bouncer, actually.
I did too.
I think
it's a middling game at best. It's an unplug your mind and punch some shit game.
I need some nausea medication now.
I'm still gonna say leave it, because to me, if this were to get remastered, it means that we're overlooking things that I think actually deserve it more.
Oh, no. Take that out of it. You can't do that. It just
okay, well, then,
in a vacuum.
All right, then yes, I would totally buy a remaster of The Bouncer. So
I would too. I love it. I love it.
They got to put multiplayer in it, but then you can't be the same heroes.
No.
And there's not going to be any crossplay. No. Okay.
I totally rebounced. Oh my God, Jason, that is the best name. That is the best name.
It is the Kingdom Hearts name.
Square Enix rebounced. I love it. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Chat hanging out live with us, of course. Don't go anywhere, because right after the show, we'll be going live with Miss Faye Death. Welcome back, Mustache.
Oh, hey. Thanks. How y'all doing tonight?
Good, good. Would you buy the Bouncer remastered or rebounced, as it were?
If it were named Rebounced, absolutely.
You just to support the name. You're like, yeah,
Oh,
I got it.
I'm totally down. Yeah.
What are we playing tonight?
Oh, we are back to the Outer Worlds because I believe we're getting pretty close on that main storyline.
I said
so
that like I didn't
we'll get it.
recognize you had the stash
All
on.
right. Well, I mean, it's an all-occasion stash.
It is. It
So
is.
you never know.
This stash has the ability to be formal and casual. This stash eats caviar and can drink Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Exactly. From day to night, wherever you're going. Multi-purpose.
Chat. Faye will be going live right after the show, so don't go anywhere. No stream from Miss Faye Death next Thursday, though, with July 4th holiday stuff, people traveling around. So, no, we won't see you next week, Faye, but we'll see you the following week. So enjoy your stream and hanging out with chat tonight. On that note, there will be no Relic Grind, no Gaming Gumbo this Saturday, being July 3rd, giving the panel off. Yad wants to get some Korean barbecue anyway. He was willing to do the show, but it's July 3rd, so give everybody the day off. Everybody works hard. So show-wise, though, we will be back on Tuesday with Snowbound and Thursday with the Relic Grind next week. All streams will be scheduled as normal, except for a few. Like July 4th, that Sunday, nobody's going to stream. So you won't see Zista or Tark that night. And then Faye will be off next Thursday. But everything else, if you're following us on Twitter, we always tweet it out anyway. So you'll know what's going on. We'll be back with another Relic Grind next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Until then, Kronos, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, same as always, Twitter. I think I'm going to go log on to Guilty Gear and beat people up because I'm so angry about the $18.99 RPGs.
Go check his Twitter. If you don't follow him, go follow him. Because this week we got asked via Twitter and via Facebook if this was even legal. Like, was it even legal for Square to charge these prices for the remasters?
It shouldn't be.
Tarkoth, how about you, sir? Where can everybody follow you?
On Twitch at Tarkoth Gaming, Twitter Tarkoth Gaming, and here on Saturdays, mostly Sunday nights, here on Ready Check Radio doing NieR Replicant.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me personally right there at Magic Man 1. But more importantly, follow at RC Radio, RAIDEO on Twitter, so that you know every time we go live with a show, every time we go live with a stream, and you can come and hang out with us and be wonderful and chat like everybody was today. Stay safe. See you on the server.